to the upcoming by-election. We're going to show people at this Friday that they can cast a vote for a party and an MPP that will deliver real results for families just like that. And you know what? I think everybody in this room would agree. People want something to vote for, not just things to vote against. Together, we're going to give the voters of Kitchener-Waterloo something and someone. Amen. Now, you know, less than 10 years ago, I was nominated in a room pretty much like this one in Hamilton East. And I won my seat in a pretty tough by-election fight. Back in May of 2004, less than a year after the general election had taken place, we increased the vote in that riding for the NDP by over 6,000 votes. And we did it because we had committed volunteers, we had a positive message, and we gave voters something to vote for. You know, families across Kitchener-Waterloo are going to have to ask themselves something pretty specific. Does Dalton McGuinty deserve a majority government? No. Does the man who spent $190 million to keep himself 4 seats in the last election deserve a majority government? Does the man behind the scandal at Orange Air Ambulance, where the president of the Liberal Party and the Premier's Chief of Staff were both lobbying to spend healthcare dollars on custom-made motorcycles that happen to be orange, water ski boats, and $1.4 million salaries? Does the man behind that scandal deserve to have a majority? Does the man who has left 20,000 Kitchener-Waterloo families without a family doctor deserve a majority? No. I don't think he does either. So, we're going to give the folks of Kitchener-Waterloo a choice. In this by-election, they can vote for leadership that actually delivers. $250 million for new childcare spaces so parents can afford to keep working.
Yeah.
New Democrats were able to stop the freeze on OW and ODSP rates in this last budget. And it was New Democrats that created a new fairness tax which asks all Ontarians to contribute fairly. And we also delivered a promise to work together on a jobs creation tax credit that rewards the companies that are actually creating jobs. Amen. To us that while Liberals and Conservatives have been doing the same old politics, it's New Democrats that have been doing something a little bit different. Now let me give you an example. We all knew that we needed to balance the budget. Everybody knew that that was something that we need to do. Dalton McGuinty, well, he called on Don Drummond, right? He called on Don Drummond, well-connected bank CEO, to tell him how to cut services. Now we thought that cuts hurt families and set our province further back, and that they're the wrong decision. Amen. So, what did we do? Well, we did something a little different. We didn't call up a bank CEO. We called on everyday Ontarians. We asked them to tell us what their priorities were, and they did. We heard from tens of thousands of Ontarians during the budget process. We listened to what they had to say, and we rolled up our sleeves and we got to work to deliver for them. We took the harder route, there's no doubt about it, but it was what Ontarians said that they wanted, and we delivered real results for Ontarians. Because New Democrats can do more to deliver real results for families in Kitchener-Waterloo and across Ontario. We can do that by electing Catherine Fife here. Now, I got to know Catherine many years ago. And in fact, so when I was the critic for Children and Youth Services, Catherine was a passionate advocate for childcare, and she continues to be that advocate to this day. I saw her passion then, and I still see it now. You know, a few years after I met her, I was lucky enough to share a very important day with her. And Catherine, you know her very well, people in this community know her very well. She's a very diligent person. She takes everything that she does very seriously. She works very hard. She makes sure that she has a grip on what it is she's doing. She's very conscientious in that way. So she asked me if she could do some job shadowing with me. And so she came to the legislature one day to spend a day with me and job shadow the things that I was doing as an MPP at the time. And it just happened to be that the day that she came to visit me was a day that legislation was being introduced that was based on a private member's bill that I had brought forward. And that private member's bill basically brought workers' compensation coverage to firefighters who were stricken with diseases and illnesses as a result of their work on the job. I didn't know. Decided that they were going to not only introduce the bill for first reading, but then see it through second and third reading all in one fell swoop on that same day. So needless to say, it was something that I had been fighting for very strongly. A firefighter in my community had died of esophageal cancer after being exposed to a plastinet fire, which was a huge fire that you guys probably saw from here when it burned back in 1997. But nonetheless, it was a very emotional day for me, a very stressful day, but a very emotional day. And it's not a day that I'm going to soon forget. And I can tell you for sure, it's not a day Catherine's going to soon forget either. I don't know whether I scared her off or whether I convinced her that it was a good, fulfilling job to try to take on. But she was fantastic, and it was a great support for me that day. So many of you know who Catherine is, right? She's been advocating for decades now on behalf of families in Kitchener-Waterloo. You might know her from school board meetings, you might know her from the hockey rink, you might know her from around town, from NDP meetings. She's been very involved in the community. And you've all seen the passion that I've seen in Catherine Fife. She's been a trustee for the Waterloo Region School Board for nearly 10 years. She's been the president of the Ontario Public School Board since 2010 and vice president of the Canadian School Boards Association since 2011. Now, Catherine knows a thing or two about politics and about getting things done. She knows a thing or two about winning elections. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but she won elections, of course, in 2003, 2006, and 2010. And in fact, in 2010, she won every single poll. Yeah. You'll agree with me when I say that anyone who thought the NDP was going to be a pushover in this by-election is sorely mistaken. Amen. We're going to show the cynics a thing or two. We are definitely together going to show the cynics a thing or two. You know, cynics told us that the NDP could never break through in the 905. Well, they should meet Jagmeet Singh, our new member for Granville-Gormont. Could win in ridings in rural Ontario. Well, they should meet for us and have a chat. And those cynics should get a chance to get to know a guy who taught me how to drive a tractor, John Vantoff from Temiskaming, Cochrane. Told us that it's hard to elect women. Well, guess what? They haven't met Cindy Forster in Welland, Monique Taylor in Hamilton Mountain, Sarah Campbell, River. Teresa Armstrong and London Fanshawe, and of course, I'd never want to forget Sherry DeNoble, Parkdale Hyde Park, my sister here. You know, I have a message for Don McGinty, and it's a pretty simple message. You know, he thought that he could pull a fast one on the people of Kitchener-Waterloo. He thought he would be able to pull a fast one with this by-election. He thought he could buy himself a majority here. Well, I think Don McGinty needs to understand that Ontarians are tired of being taken for granted. Knows that they don't have to be taken for granted. Amen. In this by-election, people in Kitchener-Waterloo are going to have a real choice. They can choose real change in this by-election. They can choose an NDP who will listen to them and who can deliver real results at Queen's Park. Together, every one of you in this room and so many others who are going to be working on this campaign, we can elect Catherine Fife as the next NDP for Kitchener-Waterloo. And that is, you have to join me in welcoming
feel the excitement and the optimism in this room. And yes, the church hall. You know, where so many of our NDP events over our history have taken place. How many Tommy Douglas speeches took place in the church hall? Or Jack Layton, our very own Jack Layton. You know, and this is my church. And I feel at home here, and I welcome you here. And this is my community, and I love it. And I'm looking forward to representing it after this by-election is over. And I know who you are. And I know that many of you travel from across the province, and it means the world to me. I see many friends that I've made over the years in this room, and we've worked hard together, but our work is really just beginning in this by-election. I want to say a special thank you to the NPPs who are behind me and from the caucus who've reached out over the last 2 months to have conversations with me about this by-election, about what this means to Ontarians. And their encouragement has been life-changing. I don't think I would be here without that kind of encouragement. And I want to say I'm so proud to be standing before you as a New Democrat. And I'm so looking forward to this campaign. But you know, I love helping others, and I like moving progressive policy forward, and I like making a difference, and I want to make a difference in this community. In fact, this community has educated me about what kind of leadership they want over the last 9 years, and I know what they value. In many respects, serving the public is about paying it forward, about giving back, and this is a key value for our party, and one of the main reasons why I am a New Democrat. Many of you know that I ran in the 2007 provincial election, but most of you don't know that I was incredibly inspired by the candidate at the time. His name was Dan Lajoie in 2007. He proved to me, he showed every day, those people who have physical handicaps are so capable. His resiliency, his determination inspired me to actually run for trustee later that year. And that's how positive change happens. We learn from each other. Over the past 9 years, I've learned the key to success centers around building relationships, respectful relationships. And I have learned by working with trustees from all political parties at the board table, by developing and adapting policies at the provincial and at the national level, as well as connecting the goals of our school board with the social determinants of health in this very community. That working together on the front lines with parents, with community leaders, with students, that is the best training to be an MPP in this by-election, and it has proven the best training that I could ever have had. Someone asked me the other day, they said, how are you going to do this? Because it's going to be an intense campaign. But you know, I don't feel alone in this journey, not at all. I have a wonderful supporter in my partner Dale, and my children Aiden and Claire have given me their full endorsement after a prolonged yet respectful and successful negotiations. My NDP family, who have already shown how committed you are to winning this riding and furthering the cause of our party and the principles of this province throughout this by-election. And I want to thank all of you for the 2 months of work that you've already put down on the ground. And we, together though, we have Andrea Horwath, a true leader. city better. And I want to thank her for her friendship and her support over the years. Today, in this province, we are in a different place, and a place where change is possible. This by-election provides an opportunity for the citizens of this riding to choose an MPP who is committed to hard work, social responsibility, and securing a healthy economy. A strong and vibrant economy that is key to our shared and collective goals as a party and as a province. As a committed member of this community who is passionate about the environment and education and the overall health and well-being of citizens, I feel strongly that my experience will contribute to this debate, and together we will decide what kind of government we want and what kind of government we need. As citizens working together, we can build on the strengths of the current minority government, but we can also work one day towards forming a responsible and truly progressive government in the province of Ontario. Some people will say that it can't be done, but I don't believe that. The citizens of this riding have the opportunity in this by-election to make sure that the politicians listen and pay attention to the real needs of this community. With determination and hard work, electing an NDP representative will not only prove to be the best choice for this riding, but it will be the best option for this province. To the Canadians on my fridge, and it's been there for almost a year. Jack felt strongly that hope and optimism must be at the heart of politics. We can build on that vision right here and right now in this body. Stand together, we can win together. Thank you very much for being here.